My name is Nuno Silva and I'm an engineering manager at Pipedrive. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about how to scale engineering teams. And for that, I'm going to give you a little bit of context. So this is a two-in-one presentation where I'm going to start to present Pipedrive, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about our experience on how to scale engineering teams. So first, a little bit of context of our history. So Pipedrive began in 2010 and was founded in Estonia by five guys. So we are currently in 6 offices around the world. 4 of them we have the software development. The other 2 are basically sales, support, and marketing. And currently, our platform has more than 80,000 users. We are in Lisbon since 2017. We start with 1 person, that is our current site manager. And we had in this about 8 years since the creation had 90 million in funding. Last year we had the 3rd round where we gather 60 million in funding. And we currently have 450 people and we are growing. And we do a CRM. A CRM specially targeted for salespeople. And in less than 1 minute, this is Pipedrive.
Pipedrive is a complete sales CRM platform designed by experienced salespeople. It's the perfect way to visually display your team's sales processes and automate the essential but repetitive tasks you need to accomplish. You can track your team's performance using customizable KPIs which match the industry you operate in. By making Pipedrive your weapon of choice, your team will smash targets with ease by breaking down strategic goals into small, everyday tasks. The interface is visually intuitive and highly organized, which is why sales teams around the globe love using it. Because Pipedrive gives you focus and shows you what deals need your attention the moment you log in, no matter where you are. You can integrate your existing tools and processes, customizing it to your business. As a complete CRM platform, Pipedrive will automatically sync your emails and log your calls, keeping everything you need to know about a prospect in one neat place. So now you can stay focused, save time, and close more deals. Selling has become beautiful again. This is Pipedrive. We make salespeople unstoppable.
Okay, and now the fun part. So a little bit of context about our engineering team. People related to engineering are about 50% of our company. About 32% are software developers. And here in Lisbon, we currently have 22 engineers between software development and basically quality tooling and deployment tooling. We do CI/CD. We do about 100 deploys per day. In all our teams, and we have in our infrastructure more than 450 microservices, and this is unique microservices. Of course, we have a small monolith. It was our original MVP that is made in PHP that we are trying to break and create new microservice to replace our existing feed. You know the feeling. And currently we have 3 deployment locations, 2 to support our live software and 1 to support our tooling. And how did we get for a model based on teams to a model based on tribes? Until middle last year, we had what normal companies have. So a team based with basically about 7 engineers. So for front-end, back-end, and full-stack engineers. That team also had a product manager and a product design. They were responsible for 1 to 2 features, where 1 was a big rock, 1 big feature, and usually a small feature. And we had a lot of challenges with this model, unfortunately. Our developers were always doing the same repetitive work, so basically working always on the same feature from long periods of time. Their degree of responsibility was limited, like I said before, 1 to 2 features. The projects took too long because they were always doing increments to the software, and developers were always doing the same thing all over again. We have limited room for challenges. If you want to have leadership within the team, the room for that was very limited. People couldn't try many new things, unfortunately, and for this reason we were creating cultural and technical silos, unfortunately. And of course, like most of you know, Scrum was not as agile as we know. And we also had another problem, or other problems. Basically, we had a management overhead. What this means is about 25% of our engineering related persons were managers. So we had a lot of managers, unfortunately. We had the centralized architecture team. This is not a problem, but in our case it was because it was not scaling for our model, and unfortunately each team was not aligned with the big picture, and this was something that we need to change quickly. And in the beginning of 2018, this happened. For the first time in our history of engineering, we had more people leaving than people joining. And this is basically the point when we decided we have to do some change. And we identified some things that we needed to have. We needed to give to developers different challenge during time. We needed to increase our pace of development, maintaining the quality. We wanted to give them space to try new things, such as research and development, space for training and things like that. We wanted to fail as fast as possible, so we can validate our ideas quickly before they have, hopefully before they are in production or available to our clients. We wanted to give the developers the opportunity to choose what they wanted to do, and lastly but not least, we wanted to deliver what our clients were expecting. And with this, it comes tribes. And most of you have heard about tribes in Spotify contexts. The only thing in common, it's the name. Everything else is different. So we basically created a kind of framework to organize ourselves, what we call the Pipedrive Agile Framework. And how does this framework works? So, as I told you, we are organized into tribes, and tribes are basically three areas of responsibility. We have the engineering parts. We have about 20 engineers led by an engineering manager. We also have 3 to 4 product managers led by a product leads. And finally, we have product designers led by product design leads. And we can also have, in most cases, researchers that basically do interviews and gather information, and data analysts to support our product managers and product designers. And how do we build our features at Pipedrive? Basically, product has an idea that is aligned with the big rocks or medium rocks or small rocks in the company. So each tribe has several degrees of responsibilities, and product has an idea how to improve or to create a new feature. It comes to the engineering manager and pitches the idea, and the engineering manager chooses from his team of engineers who is the best suited to lead that mission. So he chooses the mission leads. And also, a product design lead is chosen. And during a period of 2-3 weeks, these 3 persons start to prepare the scope of the mission. After that scope is complete, they pitch this mission to all Pipedrive in an event that we call Pitching Tuesday. So every Tuesday, all the missions that are being prepared are pitched. And during that pitch, we basically present what kinds of profiles we want to participate in that mission. So we want 2 front-end developers, we need one full-stack developers, and we have an internal tool where developers can apply. After they apply, and we basically, it takes about 2 to 4 days. We wait 2 to 4 days until the decision. From the profiles that apply, we choose which one best suits that mission, and we start the mission. And the mission is time-bound. So it's usually time-bound to 1 to 3 months, not more, not less. Okay. And during that time, those people that participate in the mission are focused. And after that period of time, that time box period of time, the mission lands. And I'm going to talk a little bit about the landing in just a few moments. And what kinds of missions can we have? We can have 4 types of missions. So we can have exploratory mission that we usually is a design sprint, or where we do a proof of concept just to validate our idea and our assumptions. And usually this takes feedback from customer support, sales, interviews to our customers. We gather all the information and basically design one scope. After that, product starts to prepare the mission, and these missions can be of two kinds. Basically, it can be a feature mission when you build something from ground up, or can be a follow-up mission where we add functionality to an ongoing feature. And finally, we can have technical-driven missions, and these technical missions are basically are promoted by engineering. They are not pitched, and they are used to improve something within our degrees of responsibility. So microservices or some refactoring that usually takes too much time to do, and it's usually 2 to 4 resources. And during this mission, what our developers, product manager, and product design do? Basically, they all only focus on the goal of the mission. Anything else matters. Okay, there's 100% of focus on delivering that mission with success. They are continuously iterating, so gathering feedback and validating their assumptions. They, as soon as they have an MVP, they start to deliver it into production behind feature flags, of course, and make it available to our beta testers to start testing. And this team is as agile as possible. So they decide how they are going to organize and how they are going to do things. So they can choose Scrum, Kanban, Scrumban, they decide, okay? And what is the mission team? Like I said before, they have end-to-end responsibility on the features, so both front-end and back-end. They are cross-functional, so all the profiles have to be there. And like I told you before, they are self-organizing, so they have full responsibility of on what they are delivering. Regarding the landing, so the mission starts 3 months, for example, 4 months later, or 3 months later, sorry, the mission lands, and what it needs to land. So every monitoring and alerting has to be there. So because we are responsible for the things that we put in production, so our developers within my tribe are responsible for what we put in production, so they do the production support to our features. So it's good to have good monitoring and good alerting. High test coverage. All our microservices has at least 95% test coverage to land, and everything has to be documented. Why? Because the number of people that participate in the mission are limited, and we have to deliver that information to all the other persons within the tribe and within Pipedrive if they want to know what we are doing. And finally, the launchpad leads, and I'm going to talk about the launchpad in a moment. A person that has the role of launchpad leads has to accept it. So we have several criteria that have to be met. These are just some of them that have to be met, and Launchpad lead is responsible to verify if all of those criteria are in place. Regarding the Launchpad, so the Launchpad, when the engineer is not on mission, that engineer is on the Launchpad. And what do we do at the Launchpad? So we take care of production bugs, of live features, so features that are already released. We take support of that within the Launchpad. We do small improvements, refactors, product-related improvements. We also do research and development for future missions or ongoing missions. And finally is the space where our developers, our engineers have to do some training and improve themselves. So some statistics of 2018, and by the way, I don't know if I refer, but we started this framework in the middle of 2018. Here in Lisbon, we started to convert to tribes in the beginning of October. So this is some statistics of the last year, so 6 months. We launched 41 missions. 2 of them were abandoned before they start because the assumptions were not met, and basically we prefer to go back to the drawing board. 2 failed to deliver what they expected. Basically, the way the mission was prepared was not with the standards that we have today, and that those 2 missions failed, and 3 were almost successful. And what is almost successful? We thought we were delivering value to our client, but our assumptions were wrong. So we deliver value, but not probably the value that our clients were expecting. So overall, we had 34 successful missions. 22 of them were completed on time, and 12 of them extended in time. And this extension normally takes 1, 2, 3 weeks, and usually is where we do some hardening, alerting, monitoring. So we prefer to delay the missions a little bit and deliver them with quality, alarmistic, and monitoring in place, then deliver that and don't do those kind of things. So basically 12 of them were extended. In terms of business areas that we created our missions in, so most of them were product related. In second place, it comes engineering related missions, basically to break legacy code or to improving ongoing features. Some of them were marketing related things, and a small part were business related. In terms of number of workdays our developers spend on missions or on the launchpad, is basically 50-50. Of course, we are still figuring out the best way of doing missions, and we are improving the process, the framework a lot. And of course, this is not our ideal pie chart. We wanted that missions were at least 75% of this pie chart, but we are getting there. Regarding the number of days per mission, as you can see, we have most of them, 90% of them, usually take 3 months. We only have one that took more than 3 months, but overall, missions take no more than 3 months, and most of them take between 2 to 2.5 months. And in retrospective, what are the advantages and advantages of this model? So the cons: mission preparation. Unfortunately, we have to have a good throughput of missions, and when one lands, another has to start. And we are still trying to improve this part of the model, so we can have a constant flow of missions. Of course, most of the tribes are already doing this. Some, the most recent ones, are still having some difficulties, and we are, of course, are hiring people to improve this process. Launchpad interest is also a problem in some tribes. Why? Because they handle legacy code, they have a large amount of bugs, and the Launchpad cannot be only about bugs. It has to have the other components. Fortunately, in Lisbon, we have a 0 bug policy in place. We have about 1 or 2 bugs open for 7 or 8 big responsibilities, which is awesome. And we can do everything. So since bug corrections, research and development, training, and also give our engineers the opportunity of doing different things and trying to pursue and improve our development. And finally, resources. When a mission starts, those resources that are needed might not be available. Of course, we have cross-site missions, so we can bring people from other offices to Lisbon and from Lisbon to other offices, but of course this costs a lot of money, and we have that in place, but we try to avoid it. Regarding the advantages of this model, we know that people are more focused on the feature, so they are not all over the place. Who is in mission is focused on the mission. We feel that they have more challenges and things to do. For instance, we can have people having leadership roles leading missions. In the past that was more difficult because the leader role was limited to the number of teams that we have at Pipedrive. So this way we can have more people trying leadership, and we empower more people to do different things. Also, we are constantly getting feedback within our missions and try to validate assumptions in real time. We have the space for improvements, and people know that when they are in that space, they can suggest improvements and do improvements to our code, our infrastructure. Unfortunately, when we had teams, we are constantly improving that feature, and there was no space to do that. And we have the decision on the developers. They can decide what things they will tackle. So if they don't want to do a certain type of mission, they basically stay on the launchpad and they can do research and development, pursue something, do some bug corrections. But in the future, we might have some feature or mission that he really wants to take because it's more related to front end or back end or whatever, and people are given that possibility to choose. And most of all, with this model, we want to deliver what our clients want and not what we think our clients want. And this is it. Thank you.